Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michael Fortin. I'm the Director of Promotion for the Maine Tax Portal here at Maine Revenue Services. I am joined by our panelist, Rachel Stetson, Principal Property Appraiser, as well as Cassie Boughton, Principal Property Appraiser, and Stephen Sullivan, Deputy Director, all with the Property Tax Division. And it's my pleasure to be your MC for our webinar on Telecommunications Excise Tax for the new Maine Tax Portal that became available on October 10th, 2023, which marks our third rollout of the Maine Tax Portal. The portal is now open for individuals and most Maine businesses to file and pay taxes, view notices, and much more. You can visit the MTP information page at maine.gov/revenue/portal to learn when you can get started for your specific tax type. I'll give you that address again. It's maine.gov/revenue/portal. Before Rachel gets started with her presentation, I have a few housekeeping items to review with everyone. First, the raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen will not be used for today's session, although you will have many opportunities to ask questions. Today's webinar is designed to be interactive. Therefore, once Rachel begins her presentation, I will be enabling all of our attendees with the ability to unmute your mics and talk with Rachel should you have any questions. Attendees who don't have a mic or are simply more comfortable typing out your question can use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Rachel will answer as many questions as possible, and if we're unable to address your questions live, then we will follow up via email following the webinar. There may be times when you'd like Rachel to repeat a step that you've missed, or perhaps you're simply unable to watch the entire session. Therefore, it will be helpful to know that today's webinar has been recorded and can be viewed by anyone who's registered. There are no documents or presentation materials that you'll need for today's webinar. Feel free to take notes, but know you can always rewatch the recorded session anytime you'd like to review the material. Finally, we should be reminded that unexpected technical challenges can occur, so we need to remember that Rachel is speaking to you live, and therefore we appreciate your understanding and ask for your patience if we should experience any technical difficulties. That concludes all of our housekeeping items. One last point is, along with Rachel and Cassie today, behind the scenes we have Tabitha and Tyler helping us with the demonstration of the Maine Tax Portal, so we would like to thank them for their assistance. Rachel, let's get started. Oh, you're on mute, Rachel.
It would help if I unmuted myself. Thank you, Mike. Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel, as Mike was saying. I'll be going over some minor changes for telecom and doing a demonstration of filing. We'll be pausing throughout the presentation to take questions, so feel free, as Mike was saying, to unmute or to type your questions into the chat. So one of the biggest changes happening is that we're changing what we call the filing year. So previously, the year labeled on the return would be the year your bill would go out. But now it will be the filing year based on the tax commitment date to align with other property tax types in our system. So the return for this filing period that will be due on December 31st, 2023 will be for the tax year 2023 period. And so it will have the year 2023 on the return. So don't be worried and thinking that you have already filed it and we're sending you the wrong return. It should have the 2023 year on it, okay? So the Maine Tax Portal will allow taxpayers and preparers to file and pay electronically. So to start, the telecommunications company will need to set up a username and password. Most of the telecommunications companies in our system already have a username set up for the Maine Tax Portal from either withholding or another tax type in a previous rollout. So we're not going to be demonstrating that setup today, but there is an instructional video on the website that Mike will go over after the demonstration. I know many of you are preparers, so we're going to go over setting up a third-party logon that will allow you to file for multiple businesses um, from one login. So first, we're going to log in to the business account. So this is as if we are the telecom company ourselves, because the business will need to add access to the telecom account. So we're going to log in, and then we have to set up a two-step verification. We're going to set up the text message form, but you can pick whichever form is most comfortable with you. Then we'll select save. And we have this blue populate link here, but it's only here because we're in a testing environment. And on the real website, that link will not be available. So we'll click confirm. On the account panel for telecom, we're going to select add access to the telecom account. And we're going to keep the file and pay selected there. And then we're going to click save. So every company will need to do that once they log on, and then it makes those make a payment and view and file returns link available. So now that we've added access to that account on the Maine Tax portal, we're going to log out using the person icon in the top right corner here, so that we can set up our third-party request. So starting from the create a username link under that log on panel, we're going to select the last option here because we're an independent party working on behalf of the business. And then we're going to select next. This step is showing you all the information you will need to request a third-party access. So if you need a little refresher after this video, you can just read that and use that information. We're going to select next. We're going to enter the federal ID of our third party here using our FEIN. But if you're a sole proprietor, you can use your social security number as well. And then we'll enter our third party name. And then enter your address. And again, all of this information is specifically for the third party. And then you'll need to verify your address using that link on the bottom. After that's verified, you'll want to enter if your business has a different physical address. We're going to select no here, and then we'll select next. Here you'll need to fill out all the required information on this step, including selecting a username, entering your name, entering your email address, and confirming it. Then you'll need to select if you'd like to go paperless for delivery, which would mean you would get an email notifying you to go to the Maine Tax Portal website to check any notices that you get. And then we'll need to select a password, confirm the password. And just a note, there are some notices that have to go out mailed, so those would still get sent through the mail if needed. And you can select a security question and answer the security question, and then enter your phone number. All right, now we're going to select next. And here you can verify that all your information is correct. And then before we select submit, I'd like to pause here in case anyone has any questions. So feel free to type them into the Q&A, or you can unmute if you'd like as well. I'm just going to give a few minutes here to see if anybody has questions. All right, I'm not seeing any questions yet, so I'm just going to continue. But as we're going along, feel free to type it into the chat if you have any questions. All right, so now we're going to select submit, and we'll enter our email address twice for confirmation, and then select OK. Once we've submitted, we come to a confirmation page that all our web requests have, and MRS recommends keeping this code for your records. From here, we're going to log in using that username we just created for our third party. We'll log in, and again, we're setting up our our two-step verification process. And we'll select save. And again, that blue populate button won't be here in production, just in the testing environment. And we'll confirm. All right, so from this page, we're going to navigate to the Manage My Profile link in the top right corner. And then we're going to go to the More tab. From the Access Management panel, we're going to select Request Third-Party Access. So we have the federal ID from the business we're going to file for. So we're going to enter that here. And then we're going to select the telecom account type because that's the account that we want to file for. Then we're going to enter the account number here. You can get all of this information from the business you're filing for once they log into their account. And now we're going to select Submit. And again, we have the confirmation here. If you file for multiple telecom companies, you can repeat these access request steps for any other company or accounts you need access to, and then they'll all be together in one spot. Now that we've requested third-party access, we're going to jump back into the shoes of the business. So we're going to log out of this account using that little person icon again. And then we're going to log back into the business account because the business is going to need to accept your request. So from here, we're going to navigate again to the Manage My Profile link in the top right corner. And then we're going to go to the More tab. And the Access Management panel, we're going to select the Pending Third-Party Requests. As you can see, you can either grant or deny access to the third-party request. We're going to grant access to the request we just demonstrated for the third party because we're expecting this request. And then we're going to select Submit. Now the third-party user we granted access to will be able to see the telecom account on their summary page and have access to file. So from here, we're going to log out as the business. And then we're going to log back in as the third party, because we want to show you what it looks like when you have the third party access. So when you're logged in here, you'll be prompted to select the customer you're working with. You'll see the company we requested access to listed here, as well as any other companies you have access to. We're going to select the telecom link here. And then we have the ability to view and file returns for the telecom account we requested access to. So before we move on, I just want to see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to unmute, type in your questions. And I'll just pause for a few seconds to see if anyone, to give people some time to type in their questions. All right, I'm going to continue on, but again, feel free to type in any questions you have, okay? All right, so now we're going to log out of the third-party account and back into the business account. All right, so from here, we're going to select the View and File Returns link on the telecom panel here. There'll be an option to file either wireless or landline. We're going to file for wireless for now for this demonstration. So we'll select the wireless return file link next to the tax year 2023, because as I mentioned earlier, the filing period is based on the April 1 tax year start date. So on this first screen, you have the option to download the return template. We will also be emailing the template as we have in prior years, which I believe you should have all received by now. But if you're having any issues with importing, or if you can't locate the current filing year's version, you can select that download return link. For this demonstration, we've already prepared our spreadsheet. So we're going to select the import return link. Then we're going to select the file needed using Choose File. And then we'll select OK. When the file has imported successfully, the company name will appear on the line here. So then you can see it's imported. Because the return is so large and can include more than 400 tabs, only a portion of the return is actually imported into stars. So we do need you to attach a copy of the spreadsheet of the return. So we're going to select Next here. And then on this step, you can see the red indicates it's a required step. So you'll need to attach a copy of the return using the Add Attachment link. We're going to use the Return option here, Telecommunications Return Attachment, and then add the description. And then we'll choose the file. You can also add any supporting documentation if that's necessary for any changes in valuation or anything you need to include to justify any of those changes. The supporting documentation is not required, only the copy of the return. So you can see the red exclamation point's gone away because we've fulfilled the requirement. All right, so now we're going to select Next. Here is just some demographic information for your company that was pulled in from the return. We're going to select Next from here. On this step, you'll include all the municipal valuation information. For the import, we have a row of how the municipality imported in case there are any spelling errors or if you use a village instead of a municipality name. We can select the municipality in that row that's an error. In this case, we've spelled Durham incorrectly. Then on the right, or in the middle there, we can use the drop-down menu to select the correct municipality name. And you can also type it in so that it'll pre-populate that. Okay. Then we'll select OK. And you can edit any of those fields needed from here by selecting the pencil icon or selecting the town name. We're going to click through the rest of the return now. It brings you through the statewide summary so that you can verify all of your information. You can see each step imports all the necessary information. While we're clicking through, I'd just like to encourage you to ask any questions you might have in the Q&A. It's obviously quite a lengthy return for the schedules. Also for Schedule F, that's the only one where the factor, the index factor, is editable. So here on Schedule F, and this isn't required because we haven't filled anything out on Schedule F, but if we had, this would be required. All right, now we've made it to the declaration page. So this is where you'll need to electronically sign the document by selecting the checkbox and entering your name twice. As in the past, once the valuations have been committed, you'll receive your bill in March. Once submitted, you'll come to the confirmation page where you can save the confirmation number for your records. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. So once I also wanted to point out, once the bill comes out, you will be able to pay from that summary screen just using the make a payment link as well, right there. All right. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Tabitha and Tyler, for driving, and Mike for hosting. There aren't any questions here. I know this is fairly short and simple. I'm going to pass it back off to Mike.
Thank you, Rachel. So we would like to invite our audience to please ask your questions. Take this opportunity if you have a question. You can type them in now. We do want to show you something else. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for those questions to come in, let's take a look at the Maine Tax Portal information page. This contains a lot of helpful information. And right now we're looking at the Maine Revenue Services homepage. The address is maine.gov/revenue. And we're going to scroll down the page and look under the heading Important Updates. You'll see the second link from the top. It says Important Information about the Maine Tax Portal. We're going to click that link. And that brings us right to the Maine Tax Portal information page directly. And if you'd like to bypass the Maine Revenue Services homepage and simply type the address into your address bar, you could type in maine.gov/revenue/portal, and then you'll be brought right here. So we're going to scroll down just a bit and take a look at the list. There's 3 columns there, list of all of the taxes that are currently in the Maine Tax Portal from the first 3 rollouts. And you will, of course, see in the list that we do have telecommunications excise there listed, but there are more taxes that will be brought in the 4th phase, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Underneath these buttons, underneath the list of these buttons that do various things, the Maine Tax Portal login button is the first one, which is a convenient way to jump from this page over to the portal itself, so you can perform any logged in or non-logged activities using the system. The next button, the FAQs, we're going to click that and take a look. FAQs are made up of questions and answers from the prior webinar training sessions that we've had. We've had several for now the first 3 rollouts. So any of those questions have been organized and summarized in a way that's easy to understand. There are various headings that you can click on, and you'll see all of the variety of topics there. If there's a question that you have, there's a good chance that it's in this list. But so take advantage of it and use it as an opportunity to learn all about the Maine Tax Portal. There's some great things in there. We're going to click back now, and now click on instructional videos. The instructional videos are short video segments. They're all narrated and provide a demonstration of different features and functions of the Maine Tax Portal, and those too are all organized into various headings, so they're easy to locate. And it's a great way to learn about the portal. One video in particular that I wanted to point out for this audience is under the Getting Started section. The second video from the top there says setting up a third-party account. So for any practitioners that are here, or for taxpayers that use a practitioner, this video would be important to understand how to set up third-party access, meaning that if a business taxpayer would like their practitioner to be able to access their Maine Tax Portal information, you can set up and authorize access for that. So it's a simple process where both the The third-party practitioner would make a request through the portal to request the taxpayer um, access, and then the taxpayer themselves would go into their respective account and approve that access. So Rachel demonstrated that for us today. So that video does explain that whole process, and it's a great resource. So we encourage you to check that out. I'm going to click back now, and we'll scroll down just a bit. You'll see the four blue boxes on your screen. Those talk about the four different rollouts or the four different phases of the Maine tax portal. The first three, of course, have been completed. Just completed rollout 3 in October, and which includes telecommunications excise tax in that list, of course. But if you're interested in looking at what's yet to come in the fourth and final phase or final rollout of the Maine tax portal in October of 2024, you can just hover over that category and you can take a look. So we wanted to point that out to you. And then at the bottom of the page, you'll see the olive green colored section. That's all about webinars. So like today, you have access to webinar training, and we would invite everybody to take advantage of it. You can click on the webinar information button, and you'll see a listing of all of the webinar sessions that are yet to come. Please sign up for as many of those as you would like. If you would like to repeat a session, again, please feel free to do that. Those are there for you to use, very helpful. And if for some reason you're not able to attend one of the sessions, webinar recordings button there is where we show and post the recordings of the prior training sessions, so you can watch those in their entirety. Of course, today's session will be sent out to you tomorrow. You'll get a link to watch the recording, so you don't need to wait for that to be posted to the website. But the videos won't get posted until after that topic is complete. So you will have immediate access to today's session, but if you want to look at any of the prior ones, they are listed there. And then finally, how to contact us. We always are welcome to take any questions and answer them. Our email and a telephone number are listed there. Our email address, right underneath the four blue boxes there, taxpayerassist@maine.gov. I'll give you that email again, taxpayerassist@maine.gov. And then our telephone number for the Taxpayer Contact Center, be happy to answer your questions, is 207-624-9784. One more time, 207-624-9784. So thank you for your attention on that. All right, well, just looking to see if we have any additional questions. I don't see anything has come in. So I believe we're ready to close out for today. So we want to recap some important things for you. First, we hope you've thoroughly enjoyed our webinar today. I'd like to thank Rachel and for Cassie and Stephen and Tyler and Tabitha for all of your time and help today. And of course, all of our attendees for each of you taking the time out of your afternoon to learn about the Maine tax portal. As a reminder, we have recorded today's session, and it can be viewed by anyone who's registered. If you missed a portion for any reason, or if you'd like to refresh your memory and watch it again, you will receive a link tomorrow with directions on how to get to the Zoom site and be able to watch that recording. If anybody submitted a question today to us that we weren't able to address live, we will follow up through email. And of course, you have the contact information I gave you. I'm going to repeat that one more time, but we do want to recap these important points, that the Maine tax portal is open. It's open for individuals and for most Maine businesses to file and pay taxes and much, much more. So telecommunications excise tax did become live on October 10th. So it is open. And you can visit the Maine tax portal information page at maine.gov/revenue/portal to learn when you can get started for each of the specific tax types. And if anyone has a question, that email address and telephone number One more time, the email address taxpayerassist@maine.gov and the telephone number 207-624-9784. All right, well, I think we're ready to conclude today's webinar. We want to thank all of you for attending, and we wish you a great rest of your day.